Char Margolis, Char Communications Incorporated, and CharVision LLC do not endorse or offer for any purpose but entertainment the views of any guest or other expert on CharVision or UBN.
I knew things before they happened from the time I was a child. At the age of 8, I saw a spirit at the foot of my bed and didn't know what it was. And in my 20s, I finally realized I had a special ability that could help others. I have learned that love never dies. There is a spirit world that can communicate with us, and we all have the gift of intuition. Join me, and together we will explore the possibilities of the unknown from beyond and more. This is CharVision. Hi, everybody. It's Sunny and Char. Okay, well, today's show is about Sunny. Well, and me too, and about you, and about your love for your animals and how to understand your animals. We have an animal communicator, and you know, I've learned through the years that animals have instinct and people have intuition. And it's so important for all of us to learn to tune into that sixth sense that we all have, because, you know, it's not like Charlton Heston going up to Mount Sinai with somebody saying, I am the Lord thy God. It's like there's a subtle little feeling that you get that says, don't take that street, don't do this, don't do that, or do it, and you'll attain something. So intuition is used to prevent problems and to attain goals. And I noticed that my dog is very intuitive about people and about things, and we kind of like feel things together. Like when I see a spirit, a loved one from the other side, like he might see it first, and he'll look up and maybe bark in the corner where there's nobody there. But I'll look over there, and then I'll feel the energy of somebody who's passed away. And even in my readings, when I do my private psychic readings, and I do many of them, and I do groups as well, Sonny usually goes with me, and he will feel the energy of what's going on. So today, I'm excited to talk about Sonny and intuition and animal instincts, and how our guest is tuning into our animals. And also, I have a fascinating chiropractor, Dr. Adam DelTorto. And he does a cranial technique, a balloon technique that he has invented on his own. So it's really interesting to open up the airwaves to be able to breathe again. You know, it's interesting to know how many people really don't know how to breathe. So sit back, take a deep breath, and thanks for being here. Well, everybody knows Sunny, right? Sunny's my psychic sidekick. And today, Sunny and Mommy have a very special guest. And her name is Maryam Faresh. And she is a people and animal communicator, psychic. And I'm just so excited to hear what she has to say about Sunny. And whatever comes to her, we're both very open. And thank you for being here. Do you want to tell us just a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Well, I've been reading people and animals since really I could, you know, first speak. My first words, some of them were premonitions. So it's all I've ever known.
Right.
It wasn't until, you know, I rescued Daisy, who was born blind and deaf, did my skills with pets really expand into something very unique. And
oh my goodness.
So she was kind of the catalyst for that in many
She's
ways.
like Helen Keller for the dogs.
She is, yeah. And there was nothing easy about her, but she was, you know, all of the challenges with Daisy, you know, taught me everything I know now and really helped me become the reader I am. So
wow, that's like Annie Sullivan and Helen Keller. It really is.
Yeah.
Wow. Blind and deaf. How do you communicate? How do you?
Well, that was just
like how do you teach them? It's time to go potty. I mean,
well, we didn't. So
okay.
For about 2 years we didn't. But that was the thing, is nobody could help us. They tried, but they couldn't. And so I, you know, relied on my psychic ability to communicate with her. And in all fairness, when I rescued her, that wasn't the intention. I wasn't thinking, oh, well, I can communicate with her as this.
Right.
It was, you know, purely this animal, I'm a huge animal rescuer, and she needed help. And then it wasn't, and I thought someone somewhere knows, someone would, and nobody knew. So I was forced to tap in and communicate with her that way. And that's how we've built our relationship. I got her at 3 months, and she's 7 now. And now that's, the communication is so strong. But to answer your question, how you train her, it was all trial and error, and it was very difficult. I mean, that's probably.
And you said she's 3-legged?
No, my cat Louie is 3-legged.
Oh, your cat is 3-legged.
Daisy's
Okay, I knew
just
somebody
blind
was
and deaf.
3-legged.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. Okay,
So
okay.
Daisy's
But
blind and
Daisy's
deaf.
blind and deaf. And
Yeah.
isn't your website about Daisy?
What about Daisy? That's one. Yeah.
Could you give that to us?
Sure.
Because people are going to want to talk to you.
Sure. It's whataboutdaisy.com. And that website is the books I have, children's books on Daisy and Daisy's story and videos. And we documented raising Daisy, like learning how to swim, climb stairs, do all of those things. And then my website, MaryamFaresh.com, is more about me as a psychic and such. But so, raising Daisy, then my work turned more towards, the pet and the parent relationship. And so she basically, helped me see how animals mirror who we are.
How does reading an animal differ from reading a person?
It doesn't, as
It's
you
the same?
probably, no, it's yeah. I mean, energy is.
Well, I think so
same.
too, but
Yeah.
Everybody has their own process.
Yes,
so
definitely.
everybody's different, and that's the beauty of being intuitive and being psychic, because we all have our own ways of connecting and communicating. And can you tell what our pets are thinking?
Yes, if you, I was raised, okay, so let me back up a little bit. My mom raised me around teachers and women who see and hear and were already psychic. So I was raised from an early age to have, a certain sense of integrity with my ability. So I don't walk around like, it was very hard for me to have friends a lot of times because people think I just walk around reading everybody. Like I can't, like, you don't walk around reading everybody.
No,
you don't care.
No,
I
in
don't-
fact, it's. I'm glad you brought that up, because there are some psychics out there that are saying, oh yeah, I can never turn it off. I can never turn it off. And I don't believe that. You can turn it off. But if there is a really strong energy around someone, it's always important to ask permission.
Right.
Like you just don't ambush people.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and a lot of it's frustrating to me, because you know what? I've been doing this for over 40 years, and now the latest thing is to be a psychic. And they're coming in by droves, and people have to be careful. And you've been doing this for how long?
Well, I'm 42, so my whole life.
Wow.
I mean, and it's interesting you say that, because I grew up being, feeling victimized at first by my ability. It was very difficult because I felt like I couldn't turn it off, and then as, I grew and I studied and meditated, like you said, you learn how to find that balance. But so to answer your question, yes, if you want me to read your pet, if you want me to read you, then I will absolutely tap in. But yes, and our animals speak to us, and this is what I have been finding is they're mirroring back their parent. And so it's not like, the animal saying, oh, I love milk bones and I love this. They're saying, dude, what's going on with my parent? Like, they're so, in 99% of the time, it's not the animal, it's the parent.
Do they reflect our personalities?
Yeah, they absolutely mirror back who we are. And
Completely?
From my research, that's what I have found.
Do you do that with mommy, honey? Yeah, you do that with your mommy. Oh my goodness. So, okay, so what are some of your most interesting, challenging, unusual cases?
Oh, I just recently started working with a dog trainer. And so the two of us go in together to homes and go, to aggressive animals or really strange situations. And I'll read the animal and then she'll step in as a trainer. And I think one of the most interesting experiences has been going in, and the trainer will sit with me. The trainer I work with is so logical and so grounded, so the opposite. I mean, she believes, but she's all about training, right? And so most recently we worked with a really aggressive little Chihuahua, and we sat down, and when I started reading, the dog wasn't aggressive. It was the chaos that was happening with the parent. And
it's mostly the people's fault, right?
Yeah.
I think so.
It really is.
Okay.
I mean,
Don't turn off your webcast yet. We'll talk about. I like people too, but really, many problems that we have are with animals are because the human being doesn't follow through. Right.
Right. Yeah. And in this situation, there was so much chaos happening within the owner, stress, anxiety, fear, abuse in the home. And so we actually were able to work out most of the issues and watch the animal just, in front of our eyes, just kind of calm down because, I was able to get through to the parent and she started crying and she had the breakthrough. And then Cora, the trainer, stepped in and it's fascinating because she validates everything that I'm seeing, but she says, yeah, it's true from a logical perspective though. So she can come in and start to manage the animal. But once we've broken down the barriers in the human, once the human's just like exhausted and like Cora always says, okay, go in there, really make them cry, really make them feel it because that breaks them down. Then her job is a lot easier to go in as a trainer.
Well, do you find a lot of people feel guilty because they're really not giving their animal the attention they need?
Yeah, there's absolutely that guilt too. Yeah.
And what about if somebody has separation anxiety with their animal?
Oh, you do too? That's so common. I'm looking over here.
It's his fault. He's got the separation anxiety. I have nothing to do with it.
Yeah, well, if you'd like me to read him, I could tell you why.
Would you mind?
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Let's
tell me. His name is Sonny?
Sonny Margolis.
Sonny Margolis. Of course. Why wouldn't he? How old is he?
He was, I'm not sure exactly how old he is. They said his birthday was March 3rd, so he'd be 2 and 4 months or something.
So cute. I can't get enough. Okay, so with Sonny, the first thing I noticed is, I know this is probably obvious to you, but not all animals see beings and see energy. They're like humans where some see, some feel, some hear. But with Sonny in particular, Sonny's a seer. And so he sees.
Oh, I got goosebumps.
Yeah?
My sister always says he's a healer and a seer.
Oh, interesting. Well, it makes sense.
And she's a doctor of psychology and she does past life regression. So
That's
is
so cool.
good that you just said that.
I'm glad I did. But I noticed in the beginning that he has like this herding mentality around you, which I found fascinating when I was watching it because how do I just, it's hard to interpret. So I felt like he was trying to herd the energy that surrounds you. It's almost like he's trying to manage the energy that surrounds you, which is why you have separation anxiety, because he manages a lot of the energy around you. I mean, you obviously get it and know how to do that, but he feels that it is his job to assist with that. He also feels like he likes working with you. So that's like, he's kind of like a self-appointed job, Unlike in other situations, you have never put anything on him. You've never said, I want you to be this. Like, how subconsciously we do that, where sometimes we're very needy or what have you.
But he does sing the national anthem, which some of you may be able to hear one day if you're lucky.
Okay. I believe it.
He does. He does.
Well, along with his gorgeous singing voice, he also it's cute because he wants to work with you. Like, he loves being able to work and be your buddy, and like, I'm doing this too, and like, that's what I saw him like running around going, I got this, and I can manage the energy too, and very involved and wants to be your partner. What's interesting is he's your baby, quote unquote, right? But for him, he sees it as a partnership,
right?
And he loves that aspect.
Well, I always say we live in a physical world and we live in an energetic world, and he understands the energetic world, and I feel like he does help with feed energy to me when I'm reading for people. Like, if people are, when I'm protecting myself, I always protect him as well. I'm really, really careful about that because I can see energetically he does take on things, and like whenever I'm reading, he falls asleep. I mean, even now, he knows energetically mommy's working, so he's like, have his eyes been closing?
Oh yeah,
yeah, because he's falling asleep because he knows. It's like he's taking on the calmness of for me, so I can do my work.
Absolutely. But what else is fascinating about him is you're so grounded, and you've mastered how to manage the energy around you that that's where I was saying, like, he's kind of created his own job for himself to make
Right.
because you don't need him to do that for you,
Right.
but he wants to help because he sees the work you do, and he understands it and wants to help. And so he has found a way to get in and assist and work with you. And one of like that's why I said when I came in, I saw him like hurting the energy and like,
Right.
and even though the energy in the space there's nothing negative by any means when we walked in, there was just a lot of energy by the time you guys came in, a lot of different energy. And so I saw him trying to like manage it around you, and I thought, it's fascinating. Like he's given himself a job, which
every animal needs a job, right?
Absolutely.
Every dog needs a job.
Yeah.
Cats too?
Yeah. No. I've never, I haven't, and listen, this is just based on my readings with animals, but I haven't yet. They assist when needed. Cats have this innate understanding to assist when needed. You know, they
Right.
have like mastered, if you will, boundaries.
Like for the people at home, what are some of the jobs that dogs will take on? Like a lot of people listening right now have a dog. So what are some of those jobs?
Well, if you don't exercise your dog, they will take on your anxiety. They will take on your fear. They will take on your feeling of like, can't get enough done. And that comes out in hot spots. It comes out in behavior issues. It comes out in, physical illness. So that's why it's so important to give your your dog a job so that it has a job and doesn't feel like it needs to
Like
take
maybe
on
it's
yours.
just protecting the house while people are gone.
Sure, that's one aspect, but inevitably they take on emotional work if you don't exercise them enough. And when I mean exercise, I say that in general, meaning allow them to be a dog. So because they're inevitably going to be taking on the parent's energy. Whether it's fear, anxiety, love, whatever, they take that on. So it's just like with us. The more we exercise, the less anxiety we have, right? The
It's
more
so
you
true.
meditate, the more you feel balanced. But
Right.
same with your dog, because your dog's feeling what you're feeling. So you better exercise them. You better find
But
balance.
like I know that dogs are used to go to senior citizens' homes and, assisted living homes because that energy is so healing and it's unconditional and it's so loving. There's a great healing that goes on with all
Absolutely.
this.
Right.
Does
But
does your dog do that? No.
We did a school tour with Daisy and her seeing eye dog Olivia, but she's by no means a therapy dog.
Wait. Your dog has a seeing eye dog?
Yes, Olivia. We
Oh,
had
this is a
Olivia.
whole new movie. Okay. Tell me about this.
We had Olivia first, and then when we took on Daisy, we knew that she couldn't be the only dog in the house because she uses Olivia for assistance. But we thought, shoot, should we train Olivia? Should we, And then my instinct said, just let Daisy train Olivia. And Daisy trained Olivia in everything that she needs and uses Olivia as her eyes and ears. It breaks my heart. It's so
How
beautiful.
old are they? Are they the same age? Or?
They're a couple years apart. So Olivia's
Wow, that is
9 or
really.
10.
Did you see my new dog bowls?
They're adorable.
I
Yes,
have
we
new
did.
dog bowls. They're CharVision dog bowls.
So cute.
Can you guys see them? Here, so we're gonna, for the first time, Sunny is going to eat. Now, Sunny, don't disappoint Mommy. We want you to eat from your dog bowl. So I don't know. Here, can you see it up here?
Hi, baby.
Come here, Sunny. Oh, I'm sorry. Can you see this?
No, I can't.
Look at he's eating in his dog bowl. Uncle Jeff designed the dog bowl.
So cute.
Anyway, I wanted him to come see you anyway, so
What are you doing?
I wanted you to be able to connect with him because I know you were like just
Dying to.
dying to.
So cute. So I brought you a book. My What About
Thank you.
Daisy book. Daisy and Louie signed it. That was from Daisy's book tour when we took her to schools.
Look at
And that's our cat Louie, our three-legged cat. And then
three-legged
Daisy.
cat, blind and deaf.
Sunny got my water. Yes. And Daisy's blind and deaf.
Sonny's drinking her water.
And don't think I won't drink out of it because I will.
You will? Be loving, Sonny. Get kissings. Oh, he gave her kissings and lovings. And this is
Well, in
Olivia.
the book, that's
No.
In the book, that's Miss Dee Dee, Daisy's rescue mom. So it's about Daisy in a rescue, finding her
Okay,
forever
so
home.
it's whataboutdaisy.com?
Yeah.
You got to get this book. I mean, just it just seems so adorable. And you have little fairies on the back. I love.
Well, since it's that kind of show, that was, the fairies, when Daisy first came to us, that's who I saw around her, assisting her.
Oh,
so
they really
that's
did
how they
sign
made it.
There's little paw prints.
Yeah.
Little paw prints. Sonny, so you just drank our guest water because Sonny, see, the thing about Sonny is the world revolves around Sonny.
Of course, right.
Right?
Yeah.
So is that okay? So what do you think Sonny thinks about all this? You think he likes his life?
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, fortunately, most dogs that I come across the problem is they're spoiled rotten. It's usually where a lot of the bad behavior comes from. But, Sonny's very balanced, I mean, the only thing I can say about him.
And remember, animals take after their owners.
Yes, they do. So he's very balanced, Char. Congratulations.
Thank you. Just ask my assistant, Nikki. She'll tell you the truth. No, I am pretty balanced.
Well, I mean, energetically, I'm sure you're very balanced. I mean, I can feel that you are. Humanly, that might be another story, right?
The truth is, I'm a Magoo in real life. I am. I'll get lost in going from my sister's house to my house that I've been to 5 million times.
That's got to be a psychic thing.
It's got to be a psychic thing.
I've talked to other psychics who get lost in their backyard. Yeah.
Yeah. You do. You just because you're thinking about different things. Sonny, come to Mama. Come here, Sonny. Come. Okay.
But Sonny,
boy.
What's great though about Sonny is he sees you two as a team. And that's what I've always loved about when I do readings is.
But he also loves Nikki, my assistant. He loves Nikki.
He does.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't really have issue with anyone unless you do.
Right.
I mean, because that's how he's tapped into you.
Wait. Oh, okay. Wait a second. I used to have a dog named Tevi Dog who was a Labrador. And whenever I'd have a boyfriend, and when I was younger, I had a lot of different. I mean, I wasn't a hoe, but I had a lot of boyfriends. Oh goodness. Okay. Anyway, so she would get jealous of all the boyfriends, but if the boyfriend was a nice boyfriend, she was okay.
Yeah.
So
that makes
I haven't had a
sense.
boyfriend since I've had Sonny. Anybody interested out there? Sonny and I are single. So, but seriously, do they sense the energy of the person, or they sense what we sense from the person? She's drinking your water.
I'm glad they brought water for Sonny.
What are you doing, little baby?
He's kissing you because he loves you. He likes you.
And I'll drink.
So that because he knows I like you too, right? Is it because I like you or because he likes you? What's the difference?
What? Okay, so you were asking. So animals have. I was just talking earlier about how it's really important that animals know who they are and what's theirs versus what's yours.
But don't they sense, like, if somebody was coming in to rob a house or something,
Sure.
they would sense that?
So that's where there's both. That's where I was saying there's both. That's why it's really important when I say, Sonny's balanced, which is good because it references you being balanced. Because if you're balanced, then Sonny knows the difference between what's you and what's his.
Well, will you ask Sonny if he likes to sing the national anthem when he does sing the national anthem? Ask him, because I'm not quite sure. Sonny, do you like the national anthem?
Can you point his eyes to me so
Okay, Sonny,
I can seriously ask
look
this
over
question?
here. Look over here.
This is why I do the work for the important questions like these. Here's the thing. I don't know. Sonny, let's not make this bigger than it is. Whatever you want Sonny to do, Sonny will do. He really
doesn't mind?
No, I'm not feeling any stress or strain in this dog's life. So
Okay. So
I really don't.
So here we go. Sonny, sit. Sonny, sit. Sit. Sonny, sit. Sonny, sit. That's sit. Okay. No. Sit. Okay. Say. Okay. Dancy. Come on. Dancy. Come here. There's not enough room here. Come on up.
She's trying so hard.
I know. Come on. Dancy. Here, Mama, we'll move this. Okay, come on. Dancy. He's afraid.
You're off camera, honey.
Oh, he's off camera.
There you
Okay.
are,
Okay, here. Okay, well, then Sonny, sit. Wait, Sonny, sit. He does this at home. Okay, wait. Say, I love you. Oh, woo, woo. Say, I love you. I love you. Say, I love you. I love you. Say, I love you. Oh, woo, woo. Oh, what a good boy. Say, I love you again. Oh, woo, boy. Good boy.
Now he's mad at me for saying
Okay,
there's
but
no
is
stress
he
in
mad
his
at,
life,
is he
right?
mad, is he mad that now see, does he not like that or does he like that?
He doesn't care. He just wants the food.
He's just like his mommy. You're right. I'll do
Give me
anything
the
for food.
It's so cute though, because people who are like me, who are as in love with their pets, they, you'll ask any question. Does he like this? Does he like that? And you're just like, sometimes they are just dogs, okay?
Yeah.
You get to the heart of it, and then after that, it's like,
I know, because
just silly
sometimes
dogs.
we expect way too much
Yeah,
from
yeah,
them. Sometimes. What about sleeping? Do they care if they're sleep? Like some people they love their dogs, but they sleep in a cage, or they sleep in a, next to them on the bed, or they sleep in their little bed. What do you think?
as far as how the animal feels
Yeah.
about where they sleep.
Yeah.
That's a good question, actually. There are definitely, well, I'm hearing that it's, a lot of it is personality. And so a lot of that comes from emulating the parent. And so if the parents tend to be very structured, very rigid in their life, they emulate that to the animal. And so that's comfortable for the animal. That's what we do. If you're like how we are at my house, where we're just like all over the bed and I'm on the floor and the dogs and cats are in the bed, they're emulating that. So it's not, so when we look at, like, if we go to a friend's house and we're like, oh, you do not let your dog sleep on the bed. What is wrong with you? I've never felt the dog like, oh my God, poor me, I want to sleep on the bed.
Right.
Although I have been told some, really funny stories about pet sitters who are told, like, the dog is not allowed in the bed and never sleeps in the bed, but yet when the pet sitter's there, the first thing the dog does is jump in the bed.
Right.
So, but that isn't I'm suffering, I sleep on the floor. I know how to get away with murder,
If you could give us one nugget of information, I'm sure there's a ton, but excuse you. I don't know. If you could give us one nugget of information that people can take home with them about their animals, what is it?
It's so important for you to be balanced as a human being, because it affects the animal to such a severe degree.
It does,
and
right?
animals end up at pounds in shelters because we say they don't behave. Well, it's you that's not behaving. If you find balance in your life, your pet is going to find balance. And
Okay.
yes, it is that simple. Is finding balance a daily, minute-to-minute, hour-to-hour thing? Absolutely. There's no such thing as, oh, I found balance, I'm good, I'm done for this lifetime.
Right.
You find balance every minute, every hour, every day, and it's different all the time, which means your animal rides that wave with you. So if you can find balance and know when you're not in balance, how you manage that affects your animals. And I can say that from such an honest place, because Daisy, my husband will be like, Maryam, I can tell you're not balanced, dude. Daisy's losing her mind. And he's right, And
Wow.
so I don't, Daisy's the happiest dog on earth. But the last thing I want is her to feel imbalance. And so that's where it really forced me to find that center.
I love that answer. Okay, so the website.
What about Daisy.com?
What about Daisy.com?
Yeah. Yes.
And Maryam Faresh.
Yep.
She reads people and animals. So call her. Anyway, thank you for
Thank
being
you.
here. You know what? Spay and neuter your pets. There's so many stray dogs out there. There's so many animals that are in pounds that have to be put to sleep. Please, please, please respect your animals. We're so blessed to have them. They teach us so much about unconditional love. And there's no greater lesson that any of us can learn. Thanks for being here. Thank you so much,
Thank
Maryam.
you. That was
This has
fun.
been great. Thank you, Sunny.
Thank you, Sunny.
Don't go away. I've got an amazing chiropractor coming on. If you have a problem with sleep apnea, if you have a problem with breathing, if you have a deviated septum, he does cranial work, and it's fascinating. So his name is Dr. DelTorto, Adam DelTorto. I want you to stay around and watch this, because I think it can help someone you know, or even you. Thanks. I am so excited to introduce my next guest, because he does something really interesting. He's a chiropractor. His name's Dr. Adam J. DelTorto. And tell us, you are the originator of a certain technique that is, tell us, it's about cranial work. What is it?
It's a specialized cranial technique that incorporates the use of tiny balloons that are carefully inserted in the nose and then quickly inflated to mobilize the bones of the face and cranium.
Now, does that have anything? What if someone has a deviated septum or
It works.
allergies, or does it help if someone's coming down with a cold?
You know, it primarily opens up the breathing passageways. So if you do have a deviated septum, it would definitely enable that by opening up the occlusion that is caused by the deviation.
But would it be instead of an operation, or?
You know, as a chiropractor, I really can't say that I'm treating the deviated septum, but it basically just opens up the breathing passageway. So it does open up that occlusion that is formed or caused by the deviation. And sometimes I get patients after they've already undergone the surgery and it's a failed surgery.
Oh.
And it helps with that afterwards.
You know, by the way, I love chiropractors. I go to chiropractors. I live in Michigan and LA. I have chiropractors in both.
Thank you.
I have a friend in Australia who's a chiropractor in Melbourne, Australia. I mean, I love chiropractors. My dad,
That's awesome.
many, many years ago, like in the 60s, used to say, I'm going to the bone cracker. And I think it was an osteopath. What's the difference between an osteopath and a chiropractor?
You know, osteopaths back in the early day were very similar to chiropractors. They also do spinal manipulation and other types of manipulation. They manipulate the lymphatic system and the circulatory system. But they got absorbed into the medical profession. They were invited to join the medical profession, and they accepted that invitation. So they are now like the medical version of a chiropractor, even though what I've found is it's almost a backdoor into medical school. They've kind of lost their identity a little bit because they don't focus as heavily on manipulation as they used to.
And when you manipulate, you do cranial work too. Explain what cranial work is.
Well, to understand how this technique works, it's important to realize that the skull is not one solid bone. It's made up of 22 individual bones that actually move every time you breathe, or at least they're supposed to. And this facilitates the flow of cerebral spinal fluid throughout the brain and spinal cord, which is very important for neurological function.
Okay, so I've watched a video, which we're going to show in a second. Yeah, no, it fascinated me because what is that balloon thing that you put up someone's nose? What is that?
It's actually a finger cot attached to a sphig bulb, you know, the bulb that they use for checking blood pressure.
And when I watched it, I kind of felt like the guy's head was going to explode.
I'm sure he felt that way too.
Can we show that? Can we show that clip? Thanks.
Hi, my name is Michael Ladarian. I'm here with my chiropractor, Dr. Adam DelTorto, and he's about to perform a special procedure where he's going to insert 2 balloons in my nose and inflate them, opening up my nasal passages when they're right now restricted.
All right, so this is a pretty quick procedure. We're going to insert the balloon into, there's 3 openings, 3 on each side, actually 6 openings, 3 on each side. So we're going to start by inserting the balloon into Mike's middle right passageway, and then we're going to inflate it. You may hear some cracking, but it's his skull actually cracking. But when it's over, he should be able to breathe a little better. You ready? All right, here we go, mister. First time ever getting this done, live on national TV. Damn, that thing is clogged, brother. Okay, I gotta find the spot. There it is. All right, there it is. All right, get there. All right. You want to come over here so you can see? It's going to be quick, buddy, but it's going to be a lot, all right? Okay. First time ever. So just take a deep breath and hold it. And quick. All right, stop. Okay, it didn't go through. You okay? Yeah. I know. We're going to do it again. Okay. Didn't go through. It's that tight. All right, 1 deep breath. And hold it. Almost. There it is. You did it, brother. Whoa.
Oh my God.
Did you see that guy? He's a champ. He's a champ. You all right?
Oh my God, I felt that.
Okay, ouch.
Well,
I'm an empath. I'm not only an intuitive, but I'm empathetic. I feel people's feelings, and I was like, oh, my whole head just exploded. But why was it so hard to get through to him?
well, on him, he is an MMA fighter, so that he did have a deviated septum. He was coming in with the treatment goal of trying to open up that breathing so he would have more endurance when he was in the ring.
Okay. And
So it's not usually that difficult. It usually pops right through in about 1 second, 2 seconds.
and how does it feel when it works? What's the feeling?
I mean, the actual experience of the treatment, it's not really painful. But it's a lot of pressure.
And what is it used exactly for? When somebody has
Things like, well, primarily breathing disorders, but it's also good for last resort patients for things like migraine headaches, facial pain, that trigeminal neuralgia, which people that have
I
that,
know someone who has
Oh my
trigeminal
God.
neuralgia.
yeah, they will do anything
Anything.
to relieve that pain.
It's horrible. It's horrible.
And this works exceptionally well for that,
Wow.
non-surgically. Bell's palsy, which is facial paralysis.
Wow.
Things like migraine headaches.
Migraine headaches are really hard to get rid of. I have another suggestion for migraines. Botox.
Okay, I mean,
Put poison in your system, but look good.
oh, I love that.
Okay, go back. Okay, let's.
This is
let's,
a little more conservative.
Yeah, no, I'm.
treatment than that.
Yeah, I'm not just teasing. I really mean it. But anyway, so but okay, so it's a total relief. And what about sleep apnea? Does it help that?
If the occlusion is coming from this opening, the nasopharynx, the opening between the nose and the throat,
Right.
absolutely will. But sometimes the occlusion is lower, like in the throat, like from the epiglottis, the little dangly thing in the back of your throat. Sometimes you have hypertrophy of that, so the occlusion is below the level that I'm treating. So, but it often, people often come into me for sleep apnea.
They do.
Yes.
And does it work? And
Yeah, it is.
How many times about do they have to come in for sleep apnea?
I do it in a series of 4 days of treatment. That's the typical series of treatment for this. But
Where's your office?
my office is in Burbank and in Catalina Island.
Oh,
Yeah, so come out.
that's really nice, Catalina
There's
Island.
a whole reason to come out and get treated right there.
Yeah, it is. It's beautiful.
It's-
if you haven't
it's
been to Catalina
very
Island.
nice out
And
there.
how do we get a hold of you?
My website is www.catalinadoc, or you can look up the Cranial Facial Release website, and you can also get a hold of me that way.
Okay, well, it's fascinating.
Thank you.
I just may one day knock on your door.
Well, I can tell
Or-
that you might need it because don't.
No, I
don't
go
want you
right
to
ahead.
feel self-conscious.
Besides
but your
the
nose
Botox, what
does
else?
deviate very slightly to
Does
the
it?
left, which typically would make it difficult
that
for you
because,
to breathe
like,
out of the right.
Is that like Pinocchio?
No.
Every time you tell a lie, it grows a
No.
little bit.
Well, no, that's,
No, I don't. Just joking. But as you get older, it does get longer. And just
does
man,
it? Maybe
yeah.
your face gets smaller.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. My eyes get worse or something. But okay, so it would work with that, huh?
Primarily, that's what people come in for, is breathing disorders, and usually last resort patients after they've already been through like several surgeries to try to correct that condition.
My sister had it. My sister had a deviated septum.
Yeah?
Yeah, that was her excuse to get a nose job in the 70s
Well,
or whenever
works
it
for
was.
me.
She looks gorgeous. I mean, looked really good. So, yeah.
well, see, she probably needs to get balloons still,
Yeah.
because she might look good, but maybe she can't breathe very well.
This is my middle sister, not the psychologist, the other one, who's beautiful and wonderful. And
Does she live in L.A.?
no, they live in Michigan.
Oh,
we all live
okay.
in Michigan.
I make house calls,
You do, and to Michigan.
and I love to fish.
Okay, there you go. We've got great salmon, and we've got great fishing, and we got the Great Lakes.
Oh, I'm all over
I
that.
think Michigan's the best
Okay.
kept secret to go to. I mean, the Great Lakes are beautiful. Anyway, Dr. Adam, thank you so
you.
much for being here.
Thanks for having
and
me.
people can get a hold of you how?
They can look me up on YouTube under Dr. Adam Cranial, and you'll see a video there, or just go to my website, www.catalinadoc, and all the contact information is right there also.
Thank you so much.
But I'm in Burbank, so Google it. You'll find me.
Okay. Appreciate you being here so much.
Thank you. Thanks for
all
having me.
the best to you.
My
Thank
pleasure.
You.
Thank you.
We ask the universal consciousness that holds the highest spiritual power of knowledge, wisdom, and truth to guide and protect us as we communicate with our guides and angels in the spirit world and tap into the wisdom of the universe. We respect this opportunity and take full responsibility to use this not for ego or controlling others, but with the pure intention of spreading love and healing life on this earth and beyond. And is there a C or S female around you?
A C.
A C-A or
yes, CA.
C-A-R?
Yes.
Carol or Caroline or Carla? Carrie?
Yes.
Is she a friend too?
Was.
She was. Did you have a romance with her?
No.
She was just a friend.
Mm-hmm.
Where is she now?
You
don't talk to her anymore?
No.
Did she disappoint you? Is that why?
Oh, yes.
Are you going to either New York or Florida?
Both.
For work or for... I see New York and Florida. I
Both.
see you going to both. I see it's fine. I see it's safe. I just see you going. Do you have a thing about superheroes?
Kind of, yeah. I do.
Like one certain superhero?
Yes.
Like Superman or not?
Yeah.
Is it Superman?
It is.
Yeah. Superman's a good symbol for you energetically.
Yeah.
Do you have a Superman T-shirt or?
I like going da-da-da. I do.
Yeah, that's a good symbol for you. What's the green salad with the red in it that I don't know. Somebody's making like a green salad with red in it. Like, looks like tabbouleh, but it's not tabbouleh. I don't know what it is.
Could be my grandma.
You got to go. And like cheese, like feta cheese? I don't know what kind of cheese.
I kind of know what that is.
It's like a white cheese.
No, I didn't know.
Is it feta cheese?
Yeah. Yeah, I will be having that Monday.
Feta cheese?
And a green salad with red in it.
Monday?
Yep.
At what? For what?
Going to a barbecue, and it's a green salad with watermelon and feta cheese.
You're making it?
No.
Oh.
My brother is.
They're not pine nuts in it, are there?
Yes. You are now invited over to my brother's house.
Thank you. Okay. It sounds delicious.
It's fantastic. It's his famous salad. It's so funny.
Who would be here who would tell me about this? Is there someone I miss who's deceased who's closer to you?
Yeah.
Like a parent or your dad?
Yes.
Or your dad. I think your dad's going to this. I think it's your dad trying to get into me. Who is L?
My brother. And my dad. My dad and my brother are an L.
Is there L-O or L-E? I can't hear. Or Larry or...
That's my dad.
Lawrence? Larry? Lawrence?
Larry is my dad. Lawrence is my brother.
See, they're I'm finally hearing them. It's kind of like having to tune in the channel so I can hear it. So he must be with your mom then.
Yeah.
I feel like they're going to come and visit you and eat that salad. Why is he famous for it?
It's all he makes.
That's all he knows.
It's all he knows. My dad would call it his famous salad, and that's all it is.
So your dad probably misses that and probably misses his family and being with his family. So sweet. They're lovely people. You have a lovely family.
There were 5.
It's a close family.
So when you said 5, I loved that. Yeah, we loved each other.
Yeah, it's a lovely, close family. It's a warm family. You need to find people of like kind that you hang out with, or if you get romantic or whatever, you need people of like kind
I do.
that have that heart and that love and that family. It's important. Because you will not be happy unless you have that. Is that okay that I said that?
Absolutely. It's
so important for you.
It is. It's perfect that you said that.
Well, you're in a, in a state that, and you're in Hollywood, and not everybody understands heart and warmth and goodness and what really matters in life. Because there's so much about image, and there's so much about what looks right on the outside. And people can get caught up in it. Everybody can get caught up in it, but you need something earth that's connected to the earth and real and pure and good.
Thank you very much.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you for allowing me to read for you. I love that Larry came in. And I know your mom's here too. It's just, I don't know her yet. Never know. She might pop in one day.
Maybe I'll come back and have Mom say hi.
Okay. Be a pleasure.
Thank you. I'm coming in for a hug.
Okay. Aww. You're a nice man. Really nice. How did you find this one?
Hi, my name is Gregory Zarian, and my experience with Char was amazing. And out of the blue, we were halfway through, and she brought up the fact that she said something about me and a superhero. And she said, "You like superheroes, don't you?" And I said, "I do." And she goes, "You like one specifically?" And I said, "I do." And it happened to be Superman. I have an identical twin brother. His name is Lawrence, and we go as Clark Kent and Superman. It's such a fun play on identities, yet I believe that we all have a superhero inside of us, and he is so much about good and doing the right thing. So Superman is it. Another thing, she touched on a lot of things. She talked about my work. She talked about a friendship, was very specific about a name and how this person was not healthy for me, and it was spot on. But the part that touched my heart the most was she was talking a little bit about my father. She said, there's a Larry or a Lawrence, and my dad's name is Larry. My twin brother's name is Lawrence. And what was so great about that is she said, and there's something red and green in your father, and what that was. And then out of the blue she said, cheese and pine nuts. My twin Lawrence makes a watermelon salad that my father loved. So during the summer, Lawrence would make his famous summer salad with watermelons, pine nuts, cheese, and lettuce. And my dad would love to be with his boys, sitting outside in my brother's backyard with the jacuzzi, just being with his family. And she found that, and she said that my dad was present and here. My experience with her was kind, was gentle, was sweet, was nurturing, and the fact that it all came around. And one thing that stayed true to me was that Char said, "Remember my self-worth and don't settle." And from that moment, I've made choices to validate my self-worth. I have not settled, and things are only transforming and shifting. So I am extremely grateful. And who's your superhero? I'm a fan. Thanks, Char.
Time goes so fast when we're having fun. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on CharVision. If you like what you've seen on CharVision, then go to char.net and book a personal reading with me, or join a group reading, or join one of my workshops where I teach you to be psychic and intuitive.